Hello students, welcome to Sreenath CBSE. In this video, we are going to discuss the 7th chapter, which is Congruence of Triangles from 7th class CBSE Max students. So, my name is Karthik Nune. We are creating videos on all chapters on all subjects from class 6 to class 12. So, please do subscribe our channel. Also like and share our videos, students. So, without wasting time, we are going to start this session. So, here the first topic is the introduction, students. We are going to learn why we need the congruence of triangles, what is meant by congruent, all the stuff we are going to learn. And next thing is the congruence of plane figures. So whenever there are plane figures, what is meant by the congruency of plane figures? So next thing is congruency among line segments. So there are line segments. When we say that the line segments are congruent, like that, students. So next thing is congruence of angles. When we say that angles are congruent, and congruence of triangles. So if there are triangles, when we say the triangles are congruent, what is the rule for the congruence of triangles? The next thing is the criteria for congruence of triangles. So what is the criteria for congruence of triangles, students? So there is SSS criteria, students, and there is SSS criteria, and there is SAS criteria, and there is ASA criteria. So three criterions are there, students. So all those criterions for congruence of triangles. So next thing is congruency among right angle triangle. So we know right angle triangles, and in the case of right angle triangles, what is the congruency? So examples are there, students, to solve. So next thing, that is the thing, students. So this is the end of the chapter. So this is our whole chapter we're going to learn now, students. So hope you are interested to learn about this chapter, that is congruency of triangles, students. So introduction. So what is meant by congruence? Okay, students. So before we are going to study about the congruence of triangles, we have to know the meaning of word congruence. So for that, take two identical stamps of the same denomination and place one stamp over the other. What you will observe? So the stamp which you placed on upper side will covers the downside stamp, and the both stamps are having the same size and same shape. So in that case, we say that both the objects are congruent. Okay, students. So congruent means they are having same size and same shape. Same size and same shape, students. Okay. And they are identical to each other, which means Xerox, like that, copy to each other, like that, students. So in that case, one will covers the other. So this is called as congruent, students. So here we are having two blades of same company, shaving blades. Does the two blades are congruent or not, students? So obviously they are congruent. Students. If you place one over the other, they will exactly covers the other things. Okay, students, they are same size and the same shape, students. So if you are having the sheets of same letter pad, they are also congruent. And the biscuits in the same packet, you have taken the biscuits from the same packet. So if you place one biscuit or the other, so they will exactly covers same shape and same size. So they are the congruent. And the toys made of the same mold, they are also identical, they are also looks like the same. So we call those as a congruent. So the relation of two objects being congruent is called congruence. So congruence is when two objects are congruent, the relation is called as congruency. Okay, students, that is the case. So here we are in this chapter, we are only dealing with plane figures only, students. We are not discussing about three-dimensional figures, only plane figures, students. Okay, so why means we are for the why we are here observe for studying plane figures is first we'll study the plane figures, later in the higher classes, so that you are going to discuss about all other things, students. First thing is we have to observe first in the beginning of this also, students, we will study starting from the line segments. They are one dimensional. Next, plane figures are two dimensional. Later in the higher classes, three dimensional, students. Okay, students, that is the case. So this is all about congruency. So congruency of plane figures, congruence of plane figures. Congruence of plane figures, students. Okay, so here in the picture there are two figures, students. Okay, so both these figures are looking same. So what we have to do, you may use the method of superposition, or you can take trace copy of one of them and place it on the another. So if it covers the all, and if it is having same size and same shape, then the both figures are congruent, and we can say that the one figure is congruent to another, and then the relationship is called as congruency. So plane figures are congruence. That is the thing, students. So how we will represent the congruence of two figures, students? So F1 is congruent to F2. We will represent it with F1 identical to F2. So this is called as congruence, students. So whenever two things are congruent, we will use this symbol to represent the congruence. So now we are going to discuss about congruency among line segments. Congruence among line segments. Okay, students, so when will the two line segments are congruent? When? So there are two figures, students. In the two figures there are pair of line segments. So observe the pair of line segments. So place this line segment AB on CD. So take the superposition method. So take the trace copy of the AB line segment and place it on the CD. So does the line segment AB coincides with CD? It will covers it. Does the length of the AB and length of the CD are same, equal? So then we say that AB and CD, line segment AB is congruent to line segment CD. Okay, students. So now just observe these two line segments, line segment PQ and line segment RS. So take the line segment PQ and place it on the line segment RS. So what happens? What you observed? So does this line segment PQ covers the RS or it is over RS? So it does not covers. It is extra. It is having extra length. So the length of the PQ and length of the RS are not equal. So these two are not congruent, students. So finally, what is our conclusion? So two line segments are same, then they are congruent. Two line segments are same, then they are congruent, students. If two are congruent, then they are same or equal length, same length here. That is the case, students. Okay, students, can you understand it? So I am telling you that, students, congruency among line segments. So what happens is that, students, so there are two line segments here. So if two line segments having the same length, equal length, then the two are congruent. Otherwise, if the line segments are congruent, then we can say that they are having the same length, like that, students. These two conditions. Okay, students, that is the case. line segments are having equal length are congruent, and whenever it is congruent they are equal, students. That is the case we are taking. So we will come across the next concept, students, that is congruence of angles. Congruence of angles. Congruence of angles. So in the figure, students, there are 4 angles. So first, take the trace copy of PQR and place it on the ABC. Like that, place QP on BA. So when you are matching the QP on BA, does QR is matching with the BC? Does QR lies on BC or not? Observe just one thing. So if QR lies on BC, then the 2 angles are equal. So then the 2 angles are congruent. So you may got some doubt, sir, here the length of QR is higher, larger than the length of BC. Then according to the congruence of line segments, these 2 line segments are not congruent, sir. Yes, of course. But here, students, we are bothering about only the angle. Our main interest here is on the angle only, not on the line segments. So here the line segments are just to mention the direction only. So their length is not a matter. So we don't consider it. So what we consider is the angle. So this angle and this angle are equal. So whenever placing this on this, they are coinciding, they are covering each other. So we can say finally that triangle ABC is congruent to angle PQR. That is the case, students. So now take the trace copy of LMN and place it on ABC. So again you have to do the same task. You have to place the LM on AB. You have to coincide it. So in that situation, what happens? Just observe. Does the MN coincides with BC or not? So if you observe that, students, that MN will not coincide with BC. So that's why it is not congruent. So the angles are not, whenever the angles are not equal, the angles are not congruent, students. That is the case. So next, take the trace copy of XYZ and place it on ABC. Like that, place the X and Y on AB. In this case, does the YZ coincides with BC? Don't think about the length. Maybe it is very larger. Just think about the does it coincides or not? It having the same shape or not? It is having the same shape. So whenever the angles are equal, you can also that triangle ABC is congruent to. So angle, not triangle, angle ABC is congruent to angle XYZ. So these two angles are congruent, students. So finally, what is our conclusion, students? If 2 angles are having the same measure, then they are congruent. And also if 2 angles are congruent, then they are having same measure. Which means if 2 angles are having same measure, which means same angle, then they are congruent. If 2 angles are congruent, then they are having same measure. So if they are having same measure, then they are congruent. If they are congruent, then they are having same measure. So this is the situation, students. Next thing is congruence of triangles. Congruence of triangles. When we will say that 2 triangles are congruent? According to our previous knowledge, take trace copy of one triangle, place it on the another triangle. If it perfectly matches, if it is have the same size, if it has the same shape, if it covers all the thing, then we say that students, that it is congruent. That's it. So every time taking the trace copies, every time cutting is somewhat difficult. So before going to that discussion, students, let see how triangle is made. We know the triangle is constructed using line segments and angles. So we have studied the congruency of line segments. Whenever the two line segments are congruent, and what happens whenever two line segments are congruent, and whenever the two angles are congruent, and what happens when two angles are congruent. Here there is a triangle. It is constructed by line segments and angles. So there are two triangles. So two triangles are congruent means if we place one triangle on another, they must cover each other. They must superimpose each other. That is the task. So here triangle ABC and triangle PQ are having the same size and shape. That's why they are congruent. So how we will express that congruent? The triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR. That is the case, students. Triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR. So if you place the triangle PQR on triangle ABC, P falls on. If you place this triangle on triangle ABC, what happens? That P falls on A and Q falls on B and R falls on C. So in this type of manner only it is congruent, students. And what happens? This PQ exactly falls on AB, and this QR exactly falls on BC, and this PR exactly falls on AC. So which means whenever the two triangles are congruent, the corresponding line segments are equal. They are also congruent. And one more thing is the students, this angle is equal to this angle is equals to this angle equals to this angle. The corresponding angles are also congruent. Corresponding angles are also congruent, students. So and vertices also congruent, students. That P vertices congruent to A only. It will not be congruent to B or C. So if triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR, if you change the vertices, does the triangle ABC congruent to triangle QRP? No, not at all. It is not congruent. If you change the vertices also, they will not be congruent, students. So finally, when two triangles are congruent, when the two triangles are congruent, students, what happens? When two triangles are congruent, what happens? So corresponding parts are congruent, corresponding angles are congruent. So corresponding parts are same, corresponding angles are same, corresponding vertices are also same. This is the situation. Okay, students, all these are equal, all these are same. This is the case when two triangles are congruent, students. So which means A is correctly corresponds to B, B is Q, C is R, like that. There is an example, we are going to solve it, students. Triangle ABC and triangle PQ are congruent. They have told that two triangles are congruent. Under the correspondence, ABC equal to RQB. So how they are congruent means their correspondent is ABC. So ABC is congruent to another triangle which corresponding is RQP, which means RQP. Okay, students. So RQP. So write the parts of triangle ABC that corresponding to. So you have to write the parts of triangle ABC that are corresponding to PQ. So corresponding to PQ, what is the corresponding side to PQ in triangle ABC? So for PQ, the corresponding side is CB. So PQ is equals to CB, students. And for angle Q, what is the corresponding angle? That is angle B. Angle Q equal to angle B. And to the RP, what is the corresponding angle? That is AC. For RP, the corresponding angle is AC. So it is like that, students. Criteria for congruence of triangles. Next thing is, what is the criteria, basic criteria for congruence of triangles? What is the basic criteria for congruency of triangles, students? So we will use the triangular shapes in our day-to-day life, students. So when we will say the two triangles are congruent, so every time, students, if you have to draw, take the cutout of trace copies, placing on the other, then saying that the two triangles are congruent is somewhat difficult task, students. We can't do it. So superposition method is somewhat difficult. So instead of doing that, we have to find a new method to say that triangles are congruent. So here Appu and Tippu are playing a game. Appu and Tippu are playing a game. Appu draw a triangle and noted the vertices and noted the side lengths and measured the angles, but he rubbed them. So only Appu will know what is the distance from A to B and B to C and A to C, and what is the angle A and angle B and angle C. Tippu don't know. Tippu haven't seen it. So only Appu will know the correct values of the side lengths and angles. So Appu gives a challenge to Tippu. So you can draw a copy of my triangle ABC that will exactly as it is identical, congruent to triangle ABC. But I will give some clues. I will give some bits of information about triangle ABC. So he will not reveal all these 5 centimeters, 5.5, 3.4, all the angles and all the sides. He will give some bits of information, which means he will give some information out of all this information, and using that small information, the Tippu has to draw the triangle which is exactly same to this triangle. Can you do this task? So the game has started. First thing is triple S game. That is triple S criteria. So Appu, one side of triangle ABC is 5.5 centimeters. So Appu said, I am giving you clue that one side of the triangle ABC is 5.5 centimeters. So does the clue that Appu has given is true or not? Yes, true. Why? Because the side BC is 5.5 centimeters. So with the information that Appu has given, Tippu has drawn many triangles with one side 5.5 centimeters. So there is acute angle triangle, right angle triangle, obtuse angle triangle, like that. So the information that given by Appu is not sufficient to draw the exact triangle, identical triangle, congruent triangle to triangle ABC. So then after telling that, the Appu, okay, I will give you one more length of one more side, so that can you draw it? So what happens? Previously he has given the length of one side, that is 5.5 centimeters. So now he is going to give the another side length, that is 3.4 centimeters. So using 3.4 centimeters, using the information of side lengths of two side lengths, in this case also the Tippu getting so many triangles. So exactly the triangle which is identical to the triangle ABC is not get easily. So next Appu has given some more information, which means he has given the third side length also, which means he has given the length of all sides. This is the triangle ABC and this Appu, and Tippu has to draw a triangle ABC, triangle ABC. At first he has given this length only, that is 5.5. Next he has given 3.4. In both situations also we can't get the same identical triangle identical to ABC. So now he is giving another information, that is 5 centimeters. So he has given 3 side lengths. So by using these side lengths, Tippu got the idea, and Tipu draw the triangle which is exactly identical, congruent to the previous triangle. Okay students, that is the case. So for that, what we have to do means, first thing is we have to draw a base with some one of the length. Here we are taking the length b is first length as 5.5 centimeters. Next thing is we have to take a compass. You have to take a compass and place it at this end, and you have to, with the help of that compass, we have to draw an arc keeping the radius as 3.4. And from this side, placing the from this side, we have to draw another arc with radius 5.4 or 5, so that the radius two arcs will coincide at one point, and from that point to the both ends of line segment you have to draw straight lines. So this is the triangle students. It is exactly same to the triangle ABC students. So when we find out the exactly same triangle students, if I gives you only one side length, you can't. If I gives you two side lengths, you can't. But whenever I am giving three side lengths, in that case you are doing the task students. So that triple S criteria or triple S congruency criteria, congruence criterion. Okay students, so if under given correspondence the three sides of one triangle are equal to the three sides of another triangle, then the right triangles are congruent. If there is a triangle and it is having three sides, and if there is another triangle and it is also having three sides, if the both the lengths are equal, then the two triangles are congruent students. That is the case. So in the triangle ABC and PQR, AB is equals to 3.5 centimeters, BQ equal to 7.1 centimeters, A is equal to 5 centimeters, PQ equal to 7.1, QR equal to 5 centimeters, PR equal to 3.5 centimeters. Examine whether the two triangles are congruent or not. So what we have to do is we have to examine whether the two triangles are congruent or not, and the length of the each side of both triangles is given students. So here we can clearly observe that AB length is equals to PR length, that is equal to 3.5 centimeters, and BC length is equal to PQ, AC length equal to QR. So lengths are equal. So this shows that whenever the three sides lengths are equal, whenever the three side lengths are equal, we say that the triangles are congruent. So according to the triple S congruency rule, the two triangles are congruent. According to that rule, whenever the side lengths of three side lengths are of two triangles are equal, then the two triangles are congruent. According to that, we can say that these two triangles are congruent students. How they are congruent is triangle ABC is approximately congruent to triangle RPQ. If you write PQR, it is wrong students. Next thing, in figure 7.13, AD equal to CD, AD equal to CD, and AB equal to CB. So state the three pairs equal parts in the triangle ABD and CBD students. So in triangle ABD and triangle BCD students, what are the three pair of equal parts are given students? That is AD equal to CD, AB equals to CB, AD equals to CD, and BD equals to BD, common length. So in the both triangles three sides are equal, so then the two triangles are congruent students. So is triangle ABD is congruent to triangle CBD? So triangle ABD, triangle CBD, yes, they are congruent students. Does the BD bisects angle ABC? Where is BD bisects angle ABC? Yes students, it is bisecting, it is bisecting the angle ABC students. That is the case. Next, the games continue students. Next thing is SAS game. So ABC is an isosceles triangle students with AB equals to AC. Take the trace copy of triangle ABC. Take the trace copy of triangle ABC and also name it as triangle ABC. State the three pair of equal parts in triangle ABC and triangle ACB. Like that you have to do this task friends. Now we're going to discuss about SAS game. So Appu, what Appu is telling, let me now change the rules of a triangle copying game. Right, go ahead. Our Tipu said, okay, as you wish, make the changes. You have already found that given the length of only one side is useless. Of course, yes. In that case, let me tell that in triangle ABC, one side is 5.5 centimeters and one angle is 65 degrees. So again, what he's giving information is one side is 5.5 centimeters, one angle is 65 degrees, but are not copies of triangle ABC. So by giving one side length and by giving one angle, we are getting so many triangles, but they are not identical to triangle ABC, students. So what shall we do? Apu said. So then Tipu answered, so we need more information. So then Apu, let me modify my earlier statement. So in triangle ABC, the length of two sides are 5.5 and 3.5 and the angle between two sides is 6.65 degrees. So what Apu is saying, the length of the two sides of triangle are 5.5, 5.5 and 3.4, and the base is the, sorry, so the length of the one thing is 5.5, another thing is 3.4, the angle is 65 degrees. So from this, like that you have to do this task, students. So yes, I got a must be 3.4 centimeters away from C along this angular line through. If I draw an arc of 3.4 centimeters, so what he is taking is first he has line a straight line for angle, and next take the compass and draw the cut arc like that, whose radius is 3.4 students. So this is called SAS property. One side, one angle and one side. So the angle is between the two side lines. If they are giving two side lines and they are giving the angle between the two side lines, which is called SAS property and SAS congruency rule criterion, students. So if two sides and angle including between the triangle are equal, then what we say that two triangles are congruent, students. If two sides and one angle, two sides and one angle are equal, then two triangles are same or congruent. Then the two triangles are congruent. That is the SAS property. So that is the example here. So given below are measurements of some parts of two triangles. Examine whether the two triangles are congruent or not by using SAS property. So triangle ABC and triangle DEF, students. So here the triangle AB length is 7 centimeters. Here there is EF which is 7 centimeters. Here there is 5 centimeters. Here there is 5 centimeters. Here the angle is 50 and here the also angle is 50. So values are same. So what is our thing is the angle is between thing or not. So for that we have to draw like this triangles. So we have drawn the AB and we have drawn the BC. We have drawn the angle B. We are getting this triangle. And here we have drawn the DE. And we have drawn the EF. And we have drawn the A angle between them. So these two triangles are congruent. Not at all a matter. Like that for this and for this we have to do these students. Next thing, in figure 7.23, AB equal to AC, AB is equals to AC and AD is the bisector of angle BAC. State three pair of equal parts in triangles ADB and ADC. In triangles ADB and ADC, state three pair of equal parts. So what are the equal parts? So AB is equals to AC, it is one of the given thing, and angle B equal to angle BAD is equal to angle CAD because it bisects, and AD is equal to AD, it is the common side. So by SAS congruency, one side, two side and angle SAS property, these two triangles are congruent, friends. That is the case. Next thing is the students, that is ASA game, which means ASA criteria. So what does the ASA criteria tells? So if under a correspondence, two angles and the included side of a triangle are equal. So if there are two angles like that, one angle, two angle, if these two angles are equal in a triangle and thus the side length is also equal, then the two triangles are congruent, friends. Okay, there are two triangles, this length, these two angles are equal and this side length is also equal. So in this case the triangle whole is congruent, friends. So we will do the example 7. In figure 7.76, can you use the ASA congruency rule and conclude that triangle AOC is congruent to BOD. So what is the thing we are going to do now, students? So if you see, students, in the two triangles AOC and BOD, students, if you see that angle C is equals to angle D and angle AOC is equal to angle BOD, vertically opposite angles are equal, so these angles are equal, so two angles are equal. And one more thing, we need the distance only. So one of the two angles are this, the third angle we know about it, that is 80 degrees. Here angle and here angle are same, here angle and here angle same, here angle and here angle are same. So what we can say, and AC equals to BD, they have given also. So this angle equal, this angle equal, and this side are equal. So according to angle side angle, these two triangles are congruent. That's it, students. So next thing is that, students, congruency above right angle triangles. In the case of right angle triangles, students, how we will do it? So we know right angle triangles, there is right 190 degrees angle and the opposite side to the right angle is hypotenuse. So what is the congruency for hypotenuse right angle triangles? Whenever the two right angle triangles will be congruent. So students, there are situations. Can you draw a triangle ABC shown in figure 7.5 with angle B at 90 degrees? So can you draw another triangle which is identical to this triangle, which is congruent to this triangle? So that B is 90 degrees, so that is the information. And another information I am giving is only BC is known. Suppose this angle is known and BC value is known, then you can do the task, students. So we can't find it, students. So only angle C is known. Suppose if here angle B is known and angle C is known, so in this case we can do the task, students. So obviously in the task also we can't do anything, students. So next thing is angle C and angle A and angle C are known. Okay, students. So angle A and angle C are known. This angle is also known. In this case also we can't do. Next thing is AB and BC and AB and BC are known, and the angle between them is also known. AB and BC angle is called same. In this case we can draw exact same triangle, students. How means, first thing is, in this triangle there is a right angle triangle and this length we know and this length also we know, so the remaining side is this and we can simply join it. That's it, students. We will get the same thing. And AC and one of AB or BC are known, so in this case also we know. So why? Because he has given AB, AC and there is 90 angle degrees and any of this is given. So in this case also we can do the task, students. So what is the RHS criterion? If under a corresponding, the hypotenuse hypotenuse and one side of a right angle triangle are respectively equal to the hypotenuse and one side of a right angle triangle and one side of a right angle triangle. So hypotenuse have to be equal and one side of a hypotenuse have to be equal and one side of a right angle triangle, either this side or this side equal. So in this case the right angle triangle is congruent, students. So given below are measurements of some parts of two triangles. Examine whether the two triangles are congruent, not using RHS. So this is the ABC triangle and PQR triangle, students. So angle B is 90 degrees here. So here angle B is 90 degrees and there is a triangle here, angle P is 90 degrees. Okay. Next thing is AC is 8 centimeters. So from A to C is 8 centimeters and from A to B it is 8 centimeters, 3 centimeters. It is 8 centimeters, it is 3 centimeters. So here from P to R it is 3 centimeters. It is 3 centimeters and Q to R, from Q to R it is 8 centimeters. So does these two things are congruent or not? So both are right angle triangles having a right angle and hypotenuse are both are equal and this side is equal for both the things. So these two are congruent, students. Like that you have to do. Next thing is angle A equal to 90 degrees. Here it is 90 degrees, students. Here angle Q is equal to 90 degrees and AC equal to 5 centimeters. So if you place A here, if you place C here, AC equal to 5 centimeters and PC equal to 9 centimeters. So we know the hypotenuse and one of the side and right angle triangle. But what about this triangle? The angle Q equal 90 degrees and angle PR. So QP is equal to 5 centimeters. QP equal to 5 centimeters. And from PR is equals to 8 centimeters. So here right angle is equal, one side is equal, but hypotenuse is not equal. So these two triangles are not congruent. That's it, students. So we are going to solve this also, students. In the figure, students, the DA is perpendicular to AB and CB is perpendicular to AB and AC is equals to BD, such that the three pairs of equal parts in triangle ABC and triangle DAB. So what is the triangle ABC and triangle DAB? ABC. This is the case, students. So triangle ABC is identical to triangle BAD. Triangle ABC is equal to triangle BAD. So that is the case. And next thing is triangle ABC is identical to triangle ABD. We have to say between these two which is the angle. So one more thing we know that, students, angle ABC is equal to angle BAD is equals to 90 degrees. And next thing, AC and BD are equal. It is given. So angle ABC equals to angle BAD. Okay, students. So these two are 90 degrees. That's why angle ABC is equals to angle BAD. And AC equal to BD given. AC equal to BD. It is given. And AB is equal to BA. It is the common side. AB equal to BA. So this AB is both same for both these things. AB equal to AB. It is the common side. If you see this diagram, this AB for this triangle and this AB for this triangle also. So angle is 90 degrees and hypotenuse is equal and one side is equal. Therefore, triangle ABC is congruent to triangle BAD. Statement 2 is not meaningful in the sense that corresponding amount of vertices is not satisfied. That is the thing, students. Our chapter is completed, students. Hope you have understood well. So if you have any doubts, please feel free to comment below, students. So without wasting time, we are going to see just see the summary of the whole chapter, students, what we have discussed till now. So congruence of triangles is the present chapter name, students. So in the introduction, congruent means, so whenever one object covers another object, whenever both objects are in same size, same shape, and they are identical, then we say the both objects are congruent. And the relation between the congruent objects is called congruency. And here we are only discussing about plane figures only and congruence of plane figures. So if you see, if you place one figure on the another figure, if it is both are having same size, same shape, and they are matching, then we say that both are congruent. Okay, students, that is the case. So next thing is how we'll represent congruencies, that is F1 congruent to F2. Congruence among line segments. So two line segments placed on one another, both are having same length, then they are congruent. So if the two line segments are on the same length, they are congruent. If two line segments are congruent, then automatically they are having same equal length. Next thing is congruency of angles. So if two angles are having same measures, then they are congruent. If the two angles are congruent, then they are having same angles. So no need to worry about the length of the line segments, arms of the angle, students. So here the arms line segments are just for direction purpose only. So this is corresponding to this in terms of angle. Next thing is congruence of triangles. So whenever the triangle is made up of line segments and angles, we have studied the congruence of triangles. So when two triangles are congruent, automatically their corresponding sides, which means corresponding parts, which means corresponding sides, corresponding angles, and corresponding vertices are also equal, are also identical, students. Okay, even if you change the vertices order, then the correspondency will then the congruency will disturbs. There are some examples we have discussed. Next thing is criteria for congruency of triangles. So if you want to know that two triangles are congruent, every time superimposing, every time cutting the trace, taking the trace copy, it is somewhat difficult, students. So so that we need some rules so that we can conclude that two triangles are congruent. So for that, students, when we know the two triangles are congruent, if they are having same length, same size, and same shape, which means if they are having their angles are congruent, and whenever their sides are congruent, which means whenever their side lengths are equal and whenever their angles are equal, then the two triangles are congruent. But every time finding all the lengths, all the angles is somewhat difficult. So can we say two triangles are congruent even though if you don't know three angles and three sides? So yes, students, we can know, we can decide. So this is 3S game, which means triple S congruency, students. So you don't need to know all the angles in it. What is the help, students? So you just need the three side lengths of a triangle. You don't need about the angles. So even though if you know, even though if you don't know each one single angle of the triangle, we can draw as exactly same congruent triangle, students. That is the triple S congruency. So next thing is SES congruency. So if you know a side, if you know two side lengths and the angle which is included between these two lines, then we can say that is SES property. In this case, we can tell the two triangles are congruent. Next thing is ASAS congruency rule. Next thing is ASA congruency, students. So if you know two angles and the included side, in this case also we can say that the two triangles are congruent. Rest of the things no need to find out. So next thing is that right angle triangles, students. So right angle triangles will have right angle, we know about it. in addition to right angle, if the hypotenuse is equal and any one of the side is equal, so in that case we can say that the two right angles are congruent. We have solved some problems, students, like that. So that chapter is completed. Our summary is also completed, students. So don't forget to subscribe Sreenath CBSE YouTube channel. Have a nice day. Keep smiling. Bye bye, students.